How's it going, everybody?
How you doing? How you doing? Welcome, welcome.
I'm doing all right, actually. But what we're going to be doing today and over the course of the next few days is going to be the legislative branch project. For this particular assignment, you will be expected to research a current member of the House of Representatives. You're going to be expected to search on the internet the following type of information. You're going to be finding information about their childhood and younger years, as well as information about their political career. You will be provided a graphic organizer, which we'll see in just a moment, to complete that contains the necessary information that must be located about that representative that you choose. You will also be expected to put together a PowerPoint presentation with at least one relevant picture per slide with that information on it. Now, here's a big note. While you are not allowed to use Wikipedia, we highly encourage you to go on the representative's website. This will contain a major amount of information that you are looking for.
Sorry, just to add on to that, if you go on Wikipedia, chances are they got their information from the representative's website. So you might as well go straight to the source, go to the representative's website. That will have the most current and best information available for you. Now, who can I choose for this project? Who's available? We have 5 members of the Democratic Party who are members of the House of Representatives, and then 5 Republican Party members of the House of Representatives. You can choose any of those 10. For the rubric, how do I get full points? What do I have to do? In order to get an exemplary response, so most amount of points, completion, you completely answer all of the questions or the prompts. For information and making sure it's accurate, to get the full points, all the information must be accurate. And if you're getting it straight off of the representative's website, it's going to be accurate. So that's why we're encouraging you to stick to the representative's website if possible. Relevant visuals are provided in each slide. Yes, if you have the relevant visuals, then you get full points. Then bibliography. A bibliography is completed and provides where you got your information. So yes, and it is not Wikipedia as a cited source.
Mm-hmm. All right, so just going to pull up, for example, the graphic organizer. You can see over here, the graphic organizer. It's 3 sides or 3 pages. You can see if we go through, you can just see the childhood and younger years. We're looking for things like birth and education, major events and extracurricular activities, basics about their political career, about what state do they represent, what year were they elected, and so on. And also stuff connected to their congressional committees. As we know, there's hundreds of members of the House of Representatives. There are certain committees that deal with particular issues. You got to research information about their particular committee. All right. So now we're going to pull up a model example. Now, this is a model example of somebody who you are not actually going to be working with. We are going to be using our model example for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So if we were to go through this presentation, we're just going to kind of highlight it. We're not going to read every single thing. We'll have this model example posted within the folder that you can look at if you need it. You can see we have a picture of her along with her name on the very first slide. You can see that we provide information about her childhood and younger years, about her birth and education. You can see that we have some additional information about some major events and extracurricular activities that Ocasio-Cortez participated in.
Then also about her political career. So what were the basics? So how did they get started? So, for example, talking about how she started to represent the 14th Congressional District in New York. Other major highlights in her political career, such as did they serve as an intern for big politicians before they ran for their own race? What did they run for? Why did they run? What inspired them? The political career kind of goes on that.
All right. Next up, you can also see information about their particular political or congressional committees that they're a part of. You can see I list the particular congressional committees that Ocasio-Cortez is a part of. I explain very briefly what they do. And I also explain why Ocasio-Cortez might have selected or might be member of this particular committee. And then we see over here information about the legislation that she has worked on. It's not necessarily legislation that she has particularly passed. It's basically legislation that she has supported. And you can see it talks about her support for legislation about $15 an hour minimum wage across the United States. And also, you can see over here, I have some sentence starters about if I could advise her on a particular thing about a particular law that she should work on, what would she do and why I think that would improve the country. And to wrap things up, you can see there's a bibliography about where we got our information from. So you can see exactly where we got the information. So at this point in time, you can see it's 7 slides in total, one of them being the introduction page, one of them being the bibliography. It's very, very clear for what we are expected to do. But if you have any questions, you could let us know about it. All right, everybody, we want to thank you very much.